I took an A+ setup on a freshly passed funded account 2 days in a row and both of them lost. Here's exactly what happened, why I'm not discouraged by it, the breakdown of both trades, key psychology takeaways that I've taken from this experience, and how you can use it and apply them to your trading to improve it significantly. The first thing I need to mention before we can go into the trades is the idea of statistical losses. I'm going to explain later on how important it is to know what your win rate is, but let's imagine that your win rate is 80%. You need to understand that you are going to lose 20% of trades if your win rate is 80%, which obviously is obviously, but I think people, they take losses way too seriously when they know that they are going to take losses. Both the setups that I took were A+ setups. I was happy with both of them, and I'll take both of them again every single time. And I'm confident that 7, maybe even 8 out of 10 times that I take it, that they'll win. But it just happened to be that the 2 times that it loses were back to back on a fresh account, which obviously isn't great. But it's like it's a statistical loss. I've got to just, there's nothing that I've done wrong. There's nothing that I can do to improve them. I've just got to keep doing what I'm doing. So yeah, it's just important to understand that statistical losses are going to happen. Because before these 2 losses, I was on a 6 trade win streak, which obviously is what passed me the account. So I've gone from absolutely cooking, just bang, like win after win, a couple break evens in there, but in terms of actual like results, was just win, 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 win. And then I've just gone loss, loss, $500 loss. Oh shit. A $500 loss and a $300 loss back to back. And the $300 loss was lucky because I accidentally done a slightly wrong contract sizing. But it just goes to show that no matter how good of a trader you think you are, and you're on a win streak and you think you're on top of the world and you're never going to take a loss ever again, you will take a loss. And I ended up taking 2. So this might have been a good thing. I mean, I wasn't really feeling the whole like, oh, I'm the best trader of all time. I was like pretty level-headed. But yeah, now there's definitely no chance of me thinking that. So maybe this was the market's way of just humbling me, letting me know like you're not there yet, buddy. So yeah, stopping me getting too ahead of myself, potentially stopping me from getting overconfident at some point, and just letting me know like this is a process that isn't easy flying. There's no just like cracking it and then you're gonna win every time. So yeah, the most important thing I can do in this situation is just keep my head screwed on, keep doing what I'm doing. Because the worst thing I could possibly do right now is change up what I'm doing, trying to add a new concept to it to stop those 2 losses and going through like, oh, maybe the loss could have happened because of this, when it's part of my system. I took my system, and I know that there's bound to be losers in there. It's just unfortunate it was 2 in a row. That doesn't really happen very often. So let's actually get into the trade, explain why there was A+ setups, go through what happened, and then we can go through some key takeaways that you can apply to your trading. All right, so this is the first trade. This was on Monday the 17th of November, and right, so my entry was after this closure. The target was this high here. I believe this was, yeah, this is the high of the 6 a.m. candle, and well, current high, because I was expecting us to hit it before the new candle opened. So yeah, current high, that was an hourly high. And my idea was we'd formed this 5-minute bullish fair value gap, come down, tapped into it, clear displacement, closed through this high. So after we'd had that closure, I took that, and then stops were just at the bottom of this displacement candle. I was going to go break even at this 1-minute intermediate term high, and then leave it to ride it out to the take profit. It was a 1.62 R position, which would have been absolutely spectacular. And as you can see, for no apparent reason, we came down, swept my stop, didn't actually like do anything. Like we didn't sweep anything more or come deeper into the fair value gap. We literally just came down, took my stop, and ran to TP, which is quite unfortunate. Which is why I'm happy with the win, because it's like I'd take that every time. I mean, that's why I'm happy with the position, because I would take that every time. I don't see anything there that has caused me to take that loss. A+ setup, in my opinion. Didn't end up taking anything for the rest of the day because there was just no entries for me. And then chop from 10 o'clock, which is obviously not ideal. Right, and then trade number 2 is, let me clear up some of this. So at market open, which was here, we come down, form these relative equal lows, then came up. We didn't sweep these top two, but we had swept some of these, started clearly displacing lower. We had this closure here, which could have very well been a position, and then maybe use that as the thing and then tried riding it down, but we hadn't like super clearly shown that we was ready to come down, because we'd had this wick down, this closure down, this closure upwards. We did still have some targets up here we hadn't taken. We could have ended up inversing this and then going away, but anyway, we ended up carrying on coming down, take this target, and then it was just a up down really nice bearish trend, came down to this point, and where this low was, we had this low here on the 15-minute and this low. So I took a position where we'd come down. This was a 5-minute, had closed through this low, and we were super close to this one. We formed a 5-minute bearish fair value gap, tapped up into it, and then started displacing lower. We had a 2-minute inversion here, and this, you can see it on the 1-minute inversion. It was also a 2-minute inversion. So I ended up taking the position, I ended up taking it here. As we started coming back up, I took that off the retracement. Was going to go break even at this low. And as you can see, we literally, within one candle, just ran up to my stop loss, came back down, ran back up, and then chopped around. So once again, A+ setup, closure through, showed that we was going to be targeting this, formed a 5-minute, retraced into the 5-minute, 2-minute inversion out of it. Like, that is a French kiss of a position, and then it didn't win. So quite unfortunate, both of those really good setups in my opinion, but game's a game, and we move on to today's session, which is in 4 hours. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. All right, so how would I, as a viewer, after watching this video and seeing the experience that I've had in the last 2 days, how would I take something away from this, or multiple things away from this, and actually implement it to improve my own trading? So the first thing that I would do is just understand that A+ setups are going to lose. Understand the statistical losses, because this is going to give you such an advantage mentally, just knowing that, okay, I can lose and it's not my fault, because sometimes it's just bound to happen. Because there's just so often, especially in the ICT trading world, that people will try and give a reason for everything, like, oh, the market done this because of this, done this because of this. But when you are just simply trading a system, obviously discretion is involved. Discretion is a huge part of trading that not a lot of people like to talk about. But you just, knowing that you're going to take statistical losses just gives you that kind of clarity in, okay, I've taken a position that was exactly my system and it's lost, and that's okay. That is going to happen. That's definitely the biggest takeaway of this video. And going alongside that is, you need to know your win rate, whether that's from live accounts, or even if you don't have the data from live accounts, just knowing your back testing win rate. Just knowing the win rate of your model is going to give you even more mental clarity to partner with the statistical loss, because you know what the statistic is. You know that it's, say, 25% you're going to lose, or 20% you're going to lose, or 40% you're going to lose. That if I lose 2 trades in a row, I'm like, okay, that's quite, like, it's kind of rare. It's like, it's not impossible. Like, it can very well happen, and obviously it has. But it gives you that kind of like, okay, so as long as I keep doing what I'm doing, statistically speaking, as long as your sample size is big enough, obviously, I shouldn't have many more losses. If I keep doing what I'm doing, I should get out of this dry streak soon enough, because that's the most important thing you can do, is just keep doing exactly what you're doing, or what you're meant to be doing, and not change anything. Just stick into your system, stick into the process you've been trading, because knowing, like, okay, so 15% of the times I'm going to lose, and say there's usually, I would, out of 100 trades, I'd only lose 2 trades in a row, like maybe 5 times or something. It's like, okay, chances are I'm going to keep pushing and I'm going to get through it. So that's something that you really need to be doing, is understand your win rate, and then use the win rate to kind of just give yourself a bit of weight off your shoulders, that this isn't going to last forever. Keep doing what you're doing and you're going to break out of it and get back on a winning streak. And the final thing that I would say is journaling your trades, because this is all well and good knowing statistical losses are a thing, but how do you know that your loss is a statistical loss? The only way to do that is by having a nice collage of your winners and your losers, but mainly your winners, to compare your losers to. Because if I have 50 winning trades and then I've got this loss that I've just taken, and all these 50 are going to kind of look the same because obviously that's your system. In the moment that you take the loss, you might be like, oh, well, that was like my perfect system, but then give it a few hours, take that loss, compare it to the winners that you do have, and you might realize, like, you know what, without the emotion involved, this isn't exactly how the other 50 winners look. And then you can kind of realize, like, oh, so this wasn't a statistical loss. There is something that I could have done about this. Maybe there's a reason I shouldn't have took this trade, which would have saved me that. And then instead of improving mentally, you're going to be improving technically, and you're actually going to stop taking the trades that might not be a statistical loss, because you're still going to get the statistical losses. So think about it as, say if you're going to lose 20 out of every 100 trades that you take that are your perfect setup, but then you also take 5 poor trades that all lose, that's now 25 losses instead of just 20. And the 20 are already going to be inevitable. Why would you go out of your way to add more losses? Like, that doesn't really make sense. So yeah, journaling's going to be super important. And if you're not journaling your trades, like, it doesn't even have to be like obviously a written journal where you take screenshots and you annotate. It could literally be a trade breakdown. Like, I've got a few trade breakdowns on my YouTube now. They're like 2.5 to 3 minutes long, and it's just me going through and talking through my trades. You don't even have to sit there. If it's too boring for you to sit and like screenshot and write down and annotate and whatever, literally just make your own trade recap and just store it somewhere on your computer. Like, it doesn't have to be boring. Or I use Notion for my journal, and then now I obviously do the video ones as well. But yeah, like, you could use TradeZella. It doesn't, like, you just make it as easy as you can so that you've got no excuse not to, basically. I hope this video was useful to some of you guys, and those of you that actually take on board what I've said, learned from my experience and actually applied it to your trading. I hope you see some good increase in your trading from this. And if you're interested in more trading education content and some trading, like, entertainment, educational, like more lifestyle content, then make sure to drop a subscribe, stay tuned in with the content. I'm going to be posting trade recaps every time I take a trade. This was a bit of a longer one because I didn't post one yesterday for the or Monday or Tuesday for the loss. I wanted to just put it into one video and then actually be able to give like a psychology talk about it as well. And if you're also looking for a trading community, then I will leave my trading community, a top link in the description. Trying to build it up. We've got like 36 members in it at the moment, so it's still like very small, but we're really trying to help each other grow in there. Like, it's quite active considering the size of it. I'm constantly in there dropping little gems, just messaging people, answering questions, and then posting in whenever I upload a video that's got some genuine value behind it. So if that's something you're interested in, then definitely take a look at that. But yeah, that's it for now. So I hope this was useful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.